The first thing that we're going to do for this project is fold our paper in half. If you are using the paper that we have in class, you may notice that there's one side that's yellowish and one side that's whitish. So make sure that you have the whitish side facing towards you during this part. Once it's folded, we can go ahead and create our design on here. We are creating abstract artwork. So this could be different lines, different shapes. Kind of just let your mind drift and draw whatever you feel like, almost like you're doodling. Once you're finished with your design, go over it again with pencil and really press hard. You may have to go back and forth a couple of times. Once you're done going over all your lines, open it up, and we're going to fold it the opposite way now. And we want to push down really hard so that we transfer that design over onto the other side of the paper. Now you may have to grab something else to push down on, like your pencil. I grabbed a pair of scissors and that seemed to work really well. Just push down really hard until it's transferred over onto the other side of the paper. Now it may be hard for you to see on the screen here, but really lightly my design was transferred onto that other side. So I'm going to go over all of these lines in pencil again. Then I grabbed an eraser and erased everything. Now this is a really important step that you should really take your time on. The pencil lead, if it mixes in with your paint, might turn your paint color really muddy. So go ahead and erase everything on there. You should be able to still see a really light imprint of your design. Now we can start mixing our paint. Now this painting is going to be a monochromatic painting. Monochromatic paintings are where you use one color, but you use different tints and shades. So right now I'm mixing a tint. A tint is your original color mixed in with white, so a lighter version of that color. I'm mixing a few different purples here. A shade is when you take black and you mix it in with your color. Now when you're mixing in black, use just a tiny bit at a time. The black works really well and will darken your color really quickly. Remember, you can always add more black, but it's a little bit more difficult to take it away. Now let's start painting. This is going to be a symmetrical painting. So when I paint something on one side, a certain tint or shade of my monochromatic color, I want to try to repeat that on the other side. So then it's a more symmetrical painting. The same on one side as it is on the other. With our paint, make sure that you aren't putting it on really thick right away. If it's on really thick, when it dries, the paint may crust and just fall right off of your paper. So make sure we're painting in thin layers. You can always go back and add a second layer once it's all dry. Now that everything's all painted in, I'm going to go back and look at some of the areas that I think look a little bit streaky. In these areas, I'm going to add a second layer of paint. Now, it may be difficult for you to get that same exact tint or shade, so make sure that you just go over the entire area with your new color. Get as close as you can. If it's a little bit see-through, that's going to be okay because your shade or tint is going to be really close to the original one that you laid down. So you won't even notice the streaks then.